Motion controllers from the Wii to Kinect to the PlayStation Move have dramatically changed computer gaming. But what other uses do they have? In this video, we're going to show you a completely original use of motion control. The idea behind this came from thinking about the precision offered by modern day motion controllers, and also a desire to create something that simply wasn't a new paradigm of sitting in your living room holding a motion controller, waving your arms in front of your television. We're using the 6th Sense True Motion dev kit to show how a motion controller can control a virtual camera and open up all kinds of new possibilities for visualization for games in any kind of 3D virtual environment. This will be manufactured by Razer and retail for around the $100 mark. This system allows us to track the position of the controller in space and the orientation very accurately, which then, transposing this into the camera in the virtual environment, gives the user a new tool with which to explore and create. What is a virtual camera? Well, even if you weren't aware of it, you've probably seen some variations of virtual camera techniques already. The film Avatar used motion-tracked camera rigs to allow the filming of mixed element scenes with traditional camera work. The camera operator shot the scene with actors on set, but the camera viewfinder would also display CG elements not present in the scene. This allowed the largely CG scene to be shot using traditional camera work. Our system describes an entirely virtual camera system, where the scene being filmed is within a game or other virtual environment. When playing a game or viewing a virtual environment, generally you're confined to using input through a mouse or controller. While this is fine for shooting people, it comes across as very robotic in certain uses, and it will always be constrained in some way for gameplay purposes. Now compare this to the motion controller virtual camera. Instantly the view is much more organic, as if it was shot with a portable camcorder. Using this system gives the user the same freedom of movement as if they were holding a handheld camera.
The virtual camera system is very intuitive to use. All the functionality can be accessed from 2 motion controllers. So aiming the camera is as intuitive as using a camcorder, with the screen as our viewfinder. We can walk about in space around the receiver, and we can rotate just as you would with a regular camcorder, or move in to get a shot. The virtual camera can be thought of as sitting on a movable rig that can be positioned anywhere in the virtual world. The virtual camera is positioned relative to the rig based on the main hand controller position. This means that you're not constrained to any location, and you can position the camera system anywhere you want in 3D by using gestures with the offhand controller. We have also implemented some other basic camera functionality into the prototype. Firstly, we have a virtual tripod. When activated, the virtual camera is fixed in space and will only rotate as if on a camera tripod. When you have your shot, disabling the tripod will snap the camera back to the position relating to the current position of the main hand controller. We also can set the rig to move in a fixed dolly, which the user can define by choosing an aiming direction and activating the dolly mode. Visual guides indicate the dolly direction. This dollying of the camera rig opens up many shooting possibilities and can be used in conjunction with the tripod for a steady dolly. Zoom of the camera can also be controlled on the main hand, and other common camera features can be logically mapped to the main hand controls, such as aperture control or depth of field to allow soft focus techniques. One of the most powerful tools is changing the scale of the camera rig within the virtual environment. Since everything is virtual, we're not confined to a 1-to-1 scale mapping, and can use this to film as if we are using a scale miniature rather than a full-scale set and everything in between.
In developing this, we've come across many interesting applications to the technique, but the first intent was for games. When playing a game, something may happen, a memorable moment, perhaps a hilarious mishap, and you may want to save the replay and put that onto YouTube to show your friends. Now, with this motion controller system, you're no longer constrained to using the camera supplied within the game. You can actually step into the game and film the replay as if you were holding a handheld camera. This takes away so many limitations and opens up all kinds of traditional filmmaking possibilities. This has the potential to completely revolutionize the world of machinima and making videos from computer games. Using our system, machinima makers are no longer constrained to static cameras or using the camera system of the game, and instantly using a motion controller camera makes the scene so much more organic and cinematic. Expanding on this, it's also possible to create gameplay revolving around filming techniques. For example, a game where the player is an on-the-spot reporter and has to film stories for a news network. This is only a basic extrapolation of what's possible. One of the major interests we've had is for the visualization of complex, hazardous, or otherwise objects that are impossible to bring into the classroom. Using our system, we can visualize something like an engine, for example, fly through the internal mechanisms, see it operating cheaply and safely. This has great potential for medical education. Using this system, it's not only possible to view the model, but also to interact with it in real time using an additional controller. The view can be manipulated, the additional controller can be used to mark incision points, problem areas, and even possibly demonstrate some aspects of actual medical procedures. But really, it is just fun to play with and try to create some classic cinema camera techniques. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. We're working on some exciting additions to this technology, and we hope to be able to bring them to you soon.